What's up, guys? So on this video, we're going to go over how to think through script writing. Now, this is one of those topics where people, very subjective, right? Because copy, the effectiveness of copy will only be known through how well things convert, right? So as long as something converts, you'll be fine. But some people might say that copy is good or bad before even knowing if it's converting or not, right? So, and I feel like there is kind of this fear of getting, like especially on Twitter, of getting some of your messages exposed, like someone just like screenshotting your DM and be like, hey, this sucks, and then just screenshotting and adding you and getting burned, right? Honestly, none of that matters. I think anyone that does that, you should feel sorry for them. I don't think we should be sending like bad messages. Like, do not, like, try your best, make the best scripts, but obviously this is a skill that you can learn. It's a skill that you're probably not going to be very good at the beginning, but you will keep on getting better and better until you feel pretty confident with your scripts, right? And so in this video, I'm going to go over like just a general overview and some like specific tips, right, that at least help me. And the most important thing, excuse me, like I said, is that these scripts convert. It doesn't matter if people don't like them. It doesn't matter if people are saying in the DMs like, hey, this is the worst message I've ever received. If you are getting good results, then it honestly doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. And just feel bad for people that are trying to call you out, okay? So again, like I talked about in the last video, again, we need to differentiate between the scalable and non-scalable. For scalable, it's basically we're going to be just shooting out one message with a couple variations. Obviously, you do want to be split testing. With the platform that I'm showing you as of this moment, we cannot like A/B test with the one account, but you can, like, say if you have 5 accounts, that you can test out 5 different angles, one per account, right? You can't do like multiple angles on one account right off the bat, but you can do like after a certain number of messages, then you can change up the message to see how the reply rate goes up or down. So if we're talking scalable, it's just going to be the one message with basically the name is going to be a little bit different. Or if you want to add like some AI personalization, then you can do that, right? The non-scalable, hyper specific, really personalized, time and place. Like I said, there's a time and place for everything. This is going to be for your dream clients. And you're going to be addressing a specific pain point that you know that specific person has, and you want to let them know that you can solve it without any risk to them or cost if you can. Like if you can solve someone's problems for free and then only make money if it works, then you're going to get a lot of responses and you're going to get a lot of business. And I will show you a specific example of a message that I sent here that honestly I don't even think is too good of a message, but it worked, and it works really well. Like that type of message, okay? And it kind of contradicts like the typical message that I send out with the scalable offers or with the scalable approach, right? But we'll get into that. So on this last note, right? So the hyper personalization, you can't really do hyper personalization like at massive scale, unless you're using AI, right? Or unless you have a huge team, just like personalizing messages. But that's typically not what everyone, it's not the most recommendable. I mean, I guess if you have the budget, if you have a team that can do that, then yes, by all means. But what most people will end up doing is just sending one message that talks or speaks to their target audience, and then just send that to everyone, right? And so if we're going to be doing that, then we really do need to make sure that this is a good message. And how do we do that? Well, we do that through, first of all, we need to research our target audience. How do you do this? And this is something I learned through Nick Verge. So he has a school group, right? And I'm giving credit where credit is due. Great school group that goes over how to write copy. And he goes over specifically how to use AI to do research, right? And I found that super key. And he has like this way, basically like scraping other, like your competitors' websites, scraping their VSLs, plugging that into ChatGPT, and then basically just asking ChatGPT questions to then discover kind of what the pain points are of the ICP, et cetera, et cetera. So you just have to do research. You can either do interviews with your clients, interviews with potential clients, or you can just do like a bunch of research. Like you can ask ChatGPT. You basically want to go like super, and I highly recommend doing going to a competitor's website, scraping the website, putting that into ChatGPT, and then asking it questions to get information about the ICP, right? Super, super, super effective. And I feel like not very many people are doing a lot of research prior to starting a campaign. And it's super, super key, which is why you will see a bunch of really, really, really bad messages going out. Okay. And so that is, it's one of the keys that very, very, very few people are doing. So research your ICP, research your market, research their pain points before sending messages. And then again, like even if you have all the pain points, you have to test to see which one performs the best. And so once you've researched, right, and again, I highly recommend going through the Nick Verge, specifically the AI part of his program, because it really is a game changer. Like how to use AI to do research is super, super key. But that's basically what it is. Like it's just going to the top of the top in terms of who has the most, like who knows your market the best, and then scraping their VSL, uploading that to ChatGPT, or scraping their VSL, making that into a transcript, and then asking ChatGPT to kind of give you that information, right? And so that is super, super effective. And then honestly, ChatGPT is really good at giving you angles. Like, okay, this is my target audience. These are their pain points. What angles can I take, right? And I honestly, I hate just using scripts. I hate AI scripts in general, but when I ask it for angles, it does give you like a really, really good idea of kind of where you want to go. And at least you're not starting from zero. So basically you want to do research, and then you can ask ChatGPT for angles if they're not like super obvious to you. Okay. Why? Because ChatGPT will be able to know, like, okay, based off of, and your prompts do need to be good. So this is kind of a learned skill. But that is it's more of a copywriting thing. But I do just want to make you aware that that's a thing, and that you should be doing research before writing any piece of copy, not just DM scripts, but just any piece of copy in general. Doing research is key. Okay. Another way to kind of really, really get that personalization down, or at least make these scalable messages as personalized as possible without actually going one by one, is by segmenting the list. Okay, so list segmentation, what does this mean? So for example, let's say your target audience or your ICP, or let's just say you're targeting marketing agencies, okay? But we all know that there's a lot of different type of marketing agencies. There's ad agencies, there's Facebook ad agencies, there's Google ad agencies, there's YouTube ad agencies, there's SEO, right? So all these different marketing agencies, right? So they're all marketing agencies, but there's specific types of marketing agencies. And so you don't want to, there we go, excuse me. So you don't want to be sending the same message to an SEO agency and then the same message to a cold email agency. Why? Because they obviously don't have the same pain points. You just can't speak to them the same because they're not the same business. And so what I recommend there is you do list segmentation. So depending on who it is that you're scraping and who it is that you're targeting, then you want to speak to them specifically. So those again has everything to do with research. Like SEO agencies will probably have different pain points than a cold email agency or than ad agency, right? So you want to speak to their specific pain points, and you want to be able to segment your list accordingly. Another way to segment your list is, say, for example, if you were to go after, you only work with SEO agencies, okay? But you work with SEO agencies that do over whatever, right? So, or you work with different tiers, but you need to like find a way to, even within the niche, differentiate between the different between the different like sub niches within the niche, if you will, like the different subgroups within the bigger group. And so that is how you can really, really get personal without writing a specific script like you would for the non-scalable approach. Another one, offer. Okay. And we talked about this in the other video, in the previous video, but you want to, like, I think the key is not only making an offer good enough, people will feel stupid saying no, but making an offer good enough, people will lose out on more money by saying no than by saying yes, right? So I think that is the key in terms of the offer. Your offer has to be really, really, really good, okay? Offer has to be really good. And so if your offer is not good, if your offer hasn't been performing, then no matter how good the script is, no matter how well you I mean, I guess if you do enough research, you'll know that people don't want what you're selling. But even if everything else is in line and just the offer, there's no product market fit, no one wants what you're selling, then you're gonna have a hard time doing outreach. Okay, just being straight up. And so that's the importance of offer. The pitching freebies. This is kind of took this from cold email, right? And so the way of thinking about pitching freebies, and it is a way to, it's basically like a way in which you can write scripts. So hear me out. So instead of pitching your main offer, like, hey, I don't know, like what's a common offer is like, I don't know, like leads on like cold email, a regular cold email offer would be like pay per call, right? So I will guarantee that we get you 30 meetings within the next 30 days or you don't pay or something like that, right? Instead of saying that, you can be pitching the freebies that you have. So a freebie might be, and we'll go over this later, but it might be some free scripts. It might be a free lead list. It might be free outbound audit, et cetera, right? And so instead of pitching your main offer, right, that's obviously that people have to pay for, or it could be like a free trial, right? If you're like a SaaS company and you have free trials, like, hey, can I offer you a free trial of XYZ? And so that way, it's a lot easier to say yes to, like, hey, can I offer you just some free outbound scripts, or can I send over some free outbound scripts? And then it's a lot easier for people to say yes to that than if you were to hit them with a completely like full-scale omni-channel outreach that they're going to pay 10K for, right? And so by pitching freebies is just another way of kind of getting your foot in the door without having them commit. And then once they see your free scripts or they see your free lead list or whatever the freebie is, then you're already in there. You do want to make it something that there's this concept of unscalable lead magnets that scale. And so that I think is a very powerful way to think about freebies or lead magnets in general, just because you want to make it seem, you want to make the freebie seem as valuable as possible, but then you want to make it seem that it's not scalable, but then you want to find a way to actually make it scalable. And so if you can do that, and I think these are some great ideas, like free scripts, like someone's going to have to be there writing those scripts, right? So it's going to cost you time and or money if you're paying someone else to do it. Free lead lists, like leads typically aren't free, and they're typically not cheap, right? So that a free trial, so either you're going to be investing time, money, like you're going to be investing some kind of resource into this. And so the higher value the client receives or the prospect receives with your free stuff, the higher the perceived value of your actual paid stuff will be, okay? So pitching freebies is basically just another method of cold outbound, to where you're not pitching your main offer right off the bat, but you're pitching something that's way easier to say yes to, okay? Without, and basically, and we'll get into freebies, but you want to give them, so you want to give them step one of a 3-step solution, pretty much, like free scripts. But then what are they going to do with free scripts if they don't know how to set up a cold outbound campaign, right? And then that's what you sell them. So pitching freebies, and then this last one is one I really like. So basically, when you're writing scripts, you always want to be thinking about the prospect that receives your message. So I'm of the idea, so I always like to think like, hey, what I like after I write a couple scripts, I'd be like, I just sit down, look at it and be like, would I reply to this message? I get a ton of messages every single day. Like, would this be one that I reply to? If it's not, then I keep going until it is, right? Because if it's a message that you wouldn't reply to, if it's a message that you wouldn't read through, odds are no one else will. Maybe someone here or there, but if you won't reply to your message, then just straight up don't send it. If it's not, if you don't think it's a good message, no one else will think it's a good message. Okay, so make sure the message is good, and make sure it's something that you would reply to, and just put yourself in their shoes. Like, is your message good enough to make someone instantly think like, hey, I need this? Like, hey, I'd lose more money by saying no to this guy or by not replying to this guy than by actually like replying. If you can do that with every single script, you're good. Like you're golden. You're golden. If every single message you send, you're like, whoever doesn't reply or whoever, like, if whenever you send a message, you're like, I'd feel bad if this person doesn't see this message, like I feel bad for them, then I think you're on the right track. So that's kind of the mind frame of kind of where you want to be, okay? And if you can do all that, then you will be golden. I think this is honestly the most important part, along with research. Research, super, super key. Not enough people doing it the right way. And I think this is like the simplest way to think about it. And obviously it involves doing research and everything else. But if it's a message, like if the message is sent to the right person and they don't reply, then there's something wrong with your message. Or maybe they're just not in a buying phase, right? Which is also completely a possibility. But you want to make it in such a way that you would reply to the message and that they'd lose out on more by not replying than by actually replying, okay? An example that I made, so I'm just going to go over a message that got me one of my dream clients, okay? And this is, I just changed up a couple things, but it's basically the same thing. So I said, hey, first name. And then I said, saw you have a new-ish, and then I said what the offer was, like a new-ish, say it was a cold email guy, a new-ish cold email offer, so I thought I'd reach out, but you want to make it specific to where they know that you're not just sending it to everyone, right? I can bring you around 300, and then ICP, around 300 marketing agencies a month that are looking to bring on a new cold email guy. I'm happy to work for you on a commission-only deal. We run stupid volume through Twitter, LinkedIn, and cold email to get those results, right? So obviously this wasn't it wasn't the example I used, but this goes to show, like, I don't think anyone would say like, hey, this is like insane copy, because it's really not. But it says like exactly what it needs to say. And if you're hitting the right person that has this specific pain point, and it shows that it is that you've done your research, you know that they have a new-ish, right? I think the new-ish, because this offer, like, it is a new offer of his, but it's not like he didn't launch the offer yesterday. So it's new, but it's new-ish, and it's a really, really specific offer that I let him know that I knew about, right? And it's not an offer that he's promoting everywhere. So it was like, I did my research, I follow this guy on YouTube, I watched a bunch of his videos, and I knew exactly what it was. And not very many people know that about him. Not very many people know that he has that offer. So I was like, hey, I thought you had this new-ish XYZ offer, so I thought I'd reach out. I can bring you around 300 ICP a month in XYZ situation. So basically just describing the ICP. So, and then happy to work for you on a commission-only deal, right? So he's not losing anything. Commission-only deal. I'll make you a bunch of money. I'll make a percentage of what I bring you. That's the deal, right? We run stupid, and then I explain how we do it. We run stupid volume on Twitter, LinkedIn, cold email to get those results. And then his answer was email this guy. I emailed that guy. Then we ended up popping on a call, and it was all cool. So this is what you need, or this is what has been working for me for the dream client. So you just want to basically let them know that you can solve a problem for them at no risk to them. And if your message is good enough, then they'll probably reply. Honestly, when I send those messages to like really, really high quality prospects, Most of the time they reply. So it's not that they're not seeing your messages, it's just that they know that it's automated. So if they don't know that it's automated because you personalize in such a way, then you will get a lot of replies from your dream clients, okay? Dream clients, not just ICP, but like big guys. And so that's what you want to be doing. And then for the scalable, when you're just doing mass outreach, this is the main thing along with research. All right, so this one was a little bit of a longer one, but I think it'll really help. It'll really help keep Twitter DMs a little bit cleaner. This one specifically, like just think before you send it, be like, would I reply to this message? If the answer is no, don't send it. If the answer is yes, send it. All right. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Appreciate you guys. Speak soon. Peace.